What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I just wanted to say real quick, if you enjoy the video, if you could give me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And feel free to make any comments you have about opinions or questions. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys, today we are going to go through my current sorta knife collection, and I'm going to force myself to pick one. If I could only pick one, we'll just say for the rest of the year. I hate to use the words forever because that's just not realistic, but I'm going to say for the rest of the year, if I could only pick one knife that I could carry every single day, that I could depend on for all sorts of situations and just enjoy carrying and thinks it looks cool. Really every possible reason and motive behind just which one I would pick. So with that being said, a couple things I will point out before I really dive into it. I obviously like all of these knives. I have carried all of these knives. I've carried other knives of the same brand that are similar to these. They just didn't make it on this table, and all sort and stuff like that. And sort of some of them are kind of it. The knife up here represents the brand a little bit, not necessarily this exact model. I think there's a bunch of brands up here that make a bunch of great pocket knives, but I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. And the approach I'm going to have is just a very realistic one. Like you'll see in the first one I pick up and explain why I wouldn't pick in just a second. So I'll go ahead and do that. So first one, this is the Boker Plus Strike drop point fully automatic pocket knife. So if I had to pick one for the rest of the year or forever, whatever you'd like to think of it as, I just can't pick this, and there's only one reason, and that is that it is fully automatic. As much as I love automatic knives, I like out the front knives. Unfortunately, for the US, you can't have automatic knives in honestly a lot of states. I know obviously California, New York, any of the very liberal states, you can pretty much assume you probably can't have this, and you probably can't have out the front. But states like South Carolina, Georgia, I believe North Carolina, I'm not really here to state individual states' laws on knives, but it's a known fact that there's several states that the automatic knives are not allowed. So with that being said, if this was the only one I had, simply with it being automatic, I run the risk of finding myself in some sort of trouble just because I have an automatic knife. It just can't be this one. I have nothing bad to say about the Boker Plus Strike. I obviously have it. I carry it. You can see it has some wear and tear on it. But it's automatic, so if I had to pick one, it just could not be this one. So for that reason alone, that's pretty much the only reason. Up next, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Some people might give me a little bit of heat for even putting this one on the table because it's an MTech. It is just stainless steel, so yes, it's a soft metal, but it was $14, and I actually have carried this a lot just because I like the size and weight, and I sharpened it, so it is pretty fairly sharp. But obviously, this is it's spring assisted, so even spring assisted is not legal in some states, which is very, very dumb in my opinion. And it's like a 4.5-inch blade, so states and cities and all sort of stuff even have a lot of blade restrictions that 4.5 is just not even close to the ballpark. So like I said, for having to pick one, I probably wouldn't pick one for the soft metal, and just overall, this is not a very, nice, ergonomic, and lean pocket knife, but there's just two things about it, kind of similar to the automatic, that makes it illegal. Obviously, I don't sit here and look up, oh, well, this state says that I can't carry this 4.5, I can only carry 2, so I'm only going to do that. I mean, no, I will honestly say yes. I have been to a city, and oh no, the pocket knife in my pocket was 2.5 inches, and the city's limit was 2 inches. So I'm not saying I'm sitting here and completely, as bad I guess as it is to say this, completely following like all of those rules. Even they're just dumb, nitpicky. And I mean, no police officer is ever going to go, hey, that knife in your pocket, that looks like it's 2.5 inches, and our city limit's 2 inches. Granted, I'm not sitting in California or New York right now, so I don't know. Heck, maybe they do. But as far as picking just one, I am going to pick one that's going to be at least close to all the laws. Just because if I don't have to run even, at that, whatever, 2%, 1% risk, I'm not going to. But yeah, so for that reason, the MTech is out. But primarily, like I said, because this is not a high-end knife at all. It's not D2, 1095 steel. It's a soft metal, but it's such a budget-friendly one. That's why I have it. So up next, that I'm going to knock off out of the list that just can't be it. This is a Kershaw Speed Safe. So this one is really up here just representing Kershaw brand. My opinion on Kershaw, they make overall decent to okay, maybe a couple models are good knives, but they make affordable knives, that is for sure. This one's like $35. It works, obviously it has decent action. It's sharp, the liner lock works. To some extent, you don't necessarily really need past that and that's probably a lot of people's opinion, especially if you're on a real budget. So, but just since they're not the nicest, I don't think they're the most bang for your buck. And it's a little bit of softer metal. This is not going to be the number one pick for me if I could only pick one. So we're left with really, this is a really, really close race for me. The next one that I'm going to eliminate off is the Benchmade Bugout. I obviously don't really have many bad things to say about this either. I really don't have anything bad to say about any of the knives on the table, but I have a full video out about this Benchmade Bugout, and I just don't really care for the plastic handle with no real metal liner. It just doesn't feel as strong as other knives, and this is very expensive. Obviously, anything Benchmade is not budget friendly, but great knife. I really use it if I need something really slim and light, but it's not going to be my pick if I could only have one. So what we're left with is really, really, really my top 5, and I'll even call this my top 5 favorite knives that I have and carry, and they're not even the most expensive ones, especially here, this one, the CRKT Vox Piet. I literally got this for $20 on Blade HQ, and it is a great little knife. I think it is 8CR steel. Don't quote me on that. I'm almost positive that's what it is, but it came super sharp. It's super light. There's not even a spring assist, and this blade is right at 2 inches, so I'm pretty sure this would be legal just about anywhere in the US, so you're running no risk there, and it has a pretty nice little flip action, so I really, really like this. However, it is mostly a plastic handle, but it feels very strong, and obviously I have it and do carry it and use it, but for those reasons, it just doesn't quite beat some of these other options on the table. So now it really, really starts to get difficult. Man, part of me doesn't even know which one to pick up to eliminate next. But I'm going to have to pick up the Honey Badger. I feel like a lot of people actually don't know about the Honey Badger. I think they make great knives, and this one's fairly big as well, so I really have enjoyed the size. It is 8 CR13 steel, so it's a little bit softer, but it's a budget steel, and this pocket knife comes in at $40. I think it looks awesome. It's got good action. It feels great in the hands, and like I said, it's a pretty big little carry. I think that is fantastic. I love to carry as big a pocket knife as I can. But in comparison to its top 3 competition here, it's just not going to beat these top 3. I really don't have anything bad to say about it at all. If I could only carry this for a year, I certainly wouldn't be upset. But, well, besides the fact that it is 8 CR13 steel, that's a little bit soft. There is better, obviously. But yeah, the Honey Badger is going to come in 4th place. And that brings us to our top 3. Now, this is maybe, I might start getting a little bit controversial here. Some people are really hardcore about, I think, one of these knives that they've been very popular. But the Spyderco Tenacious is going to come in third for me. It would not be the number one. I think this is a great kind of intro knife, kind of a standard for your knife selection. It has pretty decent little flipper action, obviously the Spyderco thumb hole. This one also, it's 8 CR13 steel. So just like the one that came in fourth, it's not as strong of a steel as I would like. So that's pretty much the only reason this is not making it to potentially number one. I really love the action. It's got a nice liner lock. The handle's really strong and very gripy. And like all Spydercos, has great ergonomics. And this one's budget friendly. It comes in about $60 on Amazon. But really enjoy carrying this. I've carried this a good bit, but if it was number one, it's just not quite there for me with the material. So that brings us to our top two. The Civivi Elementum and the Kaiser Assassin. So like I said, I have to repeat one more time, absolutely no problem with any of the knives. This is just me being nitpicky all the way down, battling to the end. Which one would I take with me if I could only have one for a year? Both of these knives are excellent choices. They're very similar in size and weight. The Civivi Elementum is a D2 steel, and the Kaiser Assassin is a 154 CM steel. So as far as blade material, the Kaiser is going to win. This is a very classic liner lock, slim design, came very sharp, great little flipper action, and very EDC concealable size, if you will. And really the Kaiser is the same way. The Kaiser is slightly bigger, slightly different ergonomics, but it is a button lock. I think the Kaiser has a little bit better action and the lock is a little bit stronger. But yeah, this is such a close, really tough choice. But for me, I have to admit, I really enjoyed the Kaiser. For me, the Kaiser Assassin, out of what I have right now, what's on the table with me, considering price, blade material, and everything, just how cool I think it is, the Kaiser Assassin is going to win for me. But the Civivi Elementum would be an excellent choice as well. It is such a close call. Really, the Spyderco Tenacious is up there as well. Like these three, like if I had to grade these on a point scale, like Kaiser wins by 1 point, and the Spyderco Tenacious is right under the Civivi Elementum by like 0.5. I don't know how else to describe how close it is. And really all of them are such great knife options. I carry all of them, and it really was difficult to eliminate even one because obviously after this video, I'm not eliminating any of them. I have really enjoyed all of them. But yeah, if I could only pick one, I'm probably going with the Kaiser Assassin. I've heard just a lot of great things about them this year. I know they kind of popped off this year. A lot of people were saying, why didn't they do this ever from the beginning? I know this is not the only knife model they dropped in the past year or so that's been very popular and really well designed. So that being said, that would be my number one that I would take with me if I had to take the same one forever or for the next year. Let me know in the comments what your number one knife would be that's in your current collection, not a no price consideration. Benchmade Bugout, for example. Of course, well, that's $300. What is your realistic, if you could only pick one, what would you take with you forever? So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.